Some say it's all about 1925 and beyond. The podcast. KC 100 year celebration with Pete A. Kennedy and Marlon A. Kennedy.
Welcome, welcome. It's the 1925 and Beyond podcast. We are here again with a special guest right out of the greatest institution ever, and that is Kingston College. I can tell you that, my gosh, I've been telling you guys, I am going to have permanent cheeks after we're done with this. But as you know, I'm here with my co-host, Big Brother Marlon A. Kennedy. But I don't know about him. I got to drop the credits. I went to Kingston College between the years of 1992 to 1995. Played Colts 93, 94, 194, and played Manning Cup 95. And then we move on the history to Big Brother. So, Marlon, take it over.
Hey, thank you, Pete. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 1925 and Beyond. Co-host Marlon Kennedy also went to KC, took a different, a more successful technical route of playing cricket, and won much more trophies than Pete did in his few years that he attended. But that's another story. But today it's a pleasure to have within our midst another very influential, committed brethren coming out of Kingston College. It's a pleasure for us to be hosting today Alvin Binns, president of the KC Old Boys Association Atlanta chapter. Alvin, greetings and welcome.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, pleasant good evening, gentlemen, and it's a pleasure for you to have me here today and say hi to your guests and everyone. I didn't win much trophy like Kennedy, but I was involved in a little of the sports. So,
here it is, brother. I'm not knocking you the case, but here it is, brother. Because I'm always the same win more trophy than me, but at least I won something. So appreciate your honesty around that. So
yeah, me know him in them days. He was in those days with the Samuels brothers and
yes.
Yeah, you know. I didn't say I personally won it. So it's a team event. But even if they're on the bench, Alvin will win.
That is right.
Yeah, it was a very, very good teams back then, man. I remember that team vividly because I was in that same year group.
Excellent. All right, Alvin. So in true form of the podcast, we ask our distinguished guests to get things rolling. And usually we'll ask you to just tell us, start your story by telling us a bit about yourself, and we'll ask you to start before you attended KC.
Okay, before I attended KC, so that's 12 years and below. Originally, I was born between Rosetown and Greenwich Farm. A place them used to call Bumperall, which is right behind St.
Yes, another person mentioned that.
Yes, man. They used to call it Majestic Garden. Then I don't know what they call it now because I hear there's another area called Majestic Garden. So we really moved from that borderline of Rosetown and Greenwich Farm during the 1980s when that political uproar was going on in Jamaica, and ended up in Windsor Heights, Central Village, Sufferers Heights.
Yes.
Funny enough to end up on another borderline. So I'm a proud product of the Garrison's gentleman.
Yes.
Not deny it, never refuse it, and accept it anywhere I go. So while in Central Village, Windsor Heights, Central Village, of course I attend the primary school in the community. At that time they call it all age, which was white all age. And from there on I took common entrance in the 6th grade, and that's how I get accepted at Kingston College. But funny enough, there was no other option for me because at that time my family had a line of Fortis, and
really
notable my cousin Engine. May soul rest in peace. He just passed away last year.
Yes, condolences to you and the family.
Yeah, man, in Florida there. So I had my cousin Engine who was ahead of me, and I had 2 stepbrothers in my yard at the time that was going to KC. So KC was always my number one choice.
Yes.
Arden was the second choice for other family members in the family, but KC. And when I passed the common entrance, I still remember that day vividly. In those times, running water wasn't regular, so they used to have drum where you're full of water and all that stuff. So I know that day I got up early and filled the drum for my mom. Quick. Just to get to school to open that newspaper to see your name printed. So that was a pleasure when you get to school and everybody outside making noise, who passed for what, and then the teacher bring up the newspaper and you go look at your name. So that's my journey in getting from my younger age up to KC.
Well, that's good to hear because you know, we've heard a few stories about, you know, how man go get the glean and man a sprint and run out of them school where them happy and all sort of things. So it's good to see that you actually had a bit of history in the family prior to you attending there. And,
go ahead, then, Marlon.
No, man, go on, you talk.
No, funny enough, you know, since 1979 up to present, I have always have a member of my family in KC. As a matter of fact, up to today, I still have two nephews at KC. So since
hold on there, Mr. Alvin. I want to make sure you said the listeners heard clearly what you said. You're saying since 1979, you have had some form of family attending Kingston College up until today.
Up until today, I got a
nephew. You know, 79, my born, so you know, say 45 years that.
Yeah, so all of them named Binns. There's always a Binns there.
No,
or some of them not named Binns.
So
okay.
Some of my stepbrothers and my brother's name varies from Clark to my sister kids who have different last names. So different last name coming through.
Okay, cool. Okay. The blood is there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Fabian Clark related?
Binns is I am the only Binns in the family that
went to.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Was Fabian Clark a part of your family?
No,
Clark and me play. Okay.
Yeah, no, not Fabian.
Okay. I remember Fabian, Fabulous the musical.
Yeah, man, Fabulous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I remember him, man.
Yeah.
Pete, you can't use Fabulous too loosely, Pete.
Which
There's
is right.
Fabian Davis.
Yes, that is right. But that's two. Remember, you have big Fabulous and little Fabulous, because them call him Fabulous when me I go school too.
Yeah, man, but nobody don't know no Fabian.
Well, then let's make the correction right for the podcast. We're not talking Fabian
one Fabulous
Davis.
Me know and a Fabian Davis. So when they say Fabulous, you're going to mix up the thing.
All right. So
and no disrespect. No disrespect to Fabian Clark, you know. Let me put that out there. I don't want Mr. Fabian Fortis Clark see me and rush me. There's no disrespect. They are talking about the Fabulous me know, and the majority of KC know is Fabian Fabulous Davis. Thank you.
Footballer.
All right. Footballer, but this one a footballer too. But we are talking about Fabian Clark that played within that time. Well, so let's, for the correction, we're going to leave the one Fabulous, the genius, who played for Reggae Boys. All right, continue, Alvin. Just want to check if the family was tight there somehow.
Yeah, no, not that Clark, but quite a few others. And the Clarks were before my time. Isaiah Clark, Andrew Clark, and then they come down now to me, and then after me, then my nephews, which are some Clarks again, and then the Tyrells and so on and so forth. So I still, as I said, I still have one nephew still there in third farm.
Nice. Which farm you mean?
Third, him said third.
Okay, third farm. Okay.
Yeah. Third farm, yes.
All right. Big up yourself, nephew, right in the Fortis there.
So tell me now, you know, so you enter what year you started, and then what was all of that about now?
Yeah, so I entered KC 1986. Graduated 91, leave 93. So while at KC, I was in the split science and technical subjects. So what happened was I did maths, physics, chemistry, but also we were part of the woodwork and TD group. So what had happened was we were in Gibson at the time, but because of our schedule, what happened, at the time, Mrs. Douglas wanted us to continue with the science, but a group of us were adamant that we had wanted to do technical drive of course, engineering course further on.
Yeah.
So she didn't want us to leave Gibson. So I think for the first time we had a split 9th grade coming over to North Street, where half of us will go to the science block and the second half will go down to the technical joint and the woodwork classes. Of course, that couldn't last. So I ended up back in 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and so on. So that's and sixth form, of course, and then prefects, and I did all the maths, add maths, A-level maths, further maths, and all the. So I tapped out on maths when I left KC. That was my strong point, of course.
Yes,
you were that strong percent that we talk about, and many old boys actually mention having the gap of not doing great in math. And when we spoke to VP Brown, he talked about the school putting in some very effective mechanisms to close that gap. So finally say I'm happy to meet one of KC mathematicians. So good work, sir. Good work.
Yeah, thank you. And as a matter of fact, I got a call, reached out for that program. So I think I'll be a part of it.
Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you for your service.
So you're gonna be assisting virtually.
Virtually. So what happened is the current one is for the emergency, fill the emergency gap, but for a long-term plans, we plan to do the virtuals and so on and so forth.
Yep.
That is good. It's good. That's another program with launch. That's good. Good to hear that, President. So what was the transition now? What was it? Oh, before we move to that, we usually ask two things about your KC life as well. Well, let me not say like a KC life done. It still goes on. Your school life.
You know, see the attire, man. The man purple out.
Man, sharp bad.
Well, the reason why I'm like this, your grandmother used to tell us when you're gonna meet important people, you must put on your Sunday best. So
we can assume, Alvin, either you're coming from that meeting or you have that meeting after you speak to us. I can't But
so you have to dust off the one out of the closet and take it out and
man, it looks good, man. You're looking
like
handsome.
it, Alvin. I appreciate it. So any moments that stood out for you at school, and were there any individuals that left a lasting impression on you at school?
Oh yes, man. First, in terms of stood out, I was part of the track team between 92 and 93. 91, 92, 93, yes. So I started my track career really. At that time we had Coach Leo Brown as the coach. So I was really a soccer player. So I was playing class match, of course, and out there. And class match gets sweet and you go run down to play up on the wing, and the coach see and say, come run through it, man. At that time I was say, I can't make KC running team. I'm a football player. So long story short is they brought me a pair of shoes, and once I get the pair of shoes, I say, well, I have no choice now. So that's how I really end up on the KC track team. It's like they force my hand.
One of the Chris Adidas them gear. One of the pretty Adidas them.
But then I think they call those the Tarshan.
Yes, man. Remember them, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, man.
So, yeah, I got one of those, and that's how I start running, gentlemen. I started in the long distance. Started out my first year running the 5,000, 1,500, and then came the second year running the 4x4, 800, and the 15. As I said in the beginning of the program, I didn't win any trophy like you guys, as at that time. At that time at Champs, we weren't winning. We were coming third and those type of as that was a period when they had cut out recruiting at the school.
Yeah.
So we weren't winning any track and field trophy. But I did at that time enjoy my time, and that's some of the most memorable moment in terms of being on the track team, traveling with those gentlemen, building bond and creating friends, and of course performing for the school, putting on that purple gears.
Yeah.
I can tell a gentleman, and I know both of y'all already know. It's a great feeling when you put on that purple unit and step on the field, man.
What?
Adrenaline just a blow through the ears and
tell them for me. No greater than that.
Yes, man. So if I was supposed to say memorable years, gentlemen, is really participating for KC. One that stood vividly in my mind is running out through the stadium tunnel for the 4x4, the last race at Champs, man. And you hear the stadium reel up.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't beat that.
Man. There's no other feeling. Even when I came abroad and track scholarship and stuff, I've never gotten that feeling again. It's just a different feeling.
Yes.
So was there anybody or group of persons that stood out to you or left a lasting impression for the time that you were there in school?
Yes, man. Teachers, coaches, friends. So some of the teachers that I can vividly remember is, I'm going to start with the educational part. Is maths teacher, I have to give enough credit to, is Mr. Samuda. As a matter of fact, I spoke to him recently.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's part of course, the supporting the school and kids with scholarship and stuff. I had a English teacher we're talking about, Miss Coburn, physics teacher, Q Bennett. Q Bennett was always in the class. He's always in the physics lab with us. Also, when I ended up playing some chess up there. Mr. Riley, technical drawing, which is, those teachers were basically in the core that I was really doing for my education.
Yeah.
And of course, in the sporting department, we are talking about Mr. G at the time, which is Mr. Goldsmith.
Mr. Goldsmith.
Yeah. I have to give credit to at the time, which is Coach Leo Brown, because I remember Coach Leo Brown would sit there and write those scholarship letters for the athletes and send overseas. Because at the time, we never have no scouting, nothing. The only way for them to get contact was to send them letter, and when we get to pen relay, they can have a visual of us, and if any of us is participating at pen relay, they will be able to see us to scout us at the time. So I have to give credit to Leo Brown and Father Powell also. Father Powell was very instrumental in me and my scholarships and getting here. Because in terms of when I leave Jamaica and came abroad, I can remember Father P gave me a Bible and $100 in it. And that's what I came to America with in terms of financial money. It was that $100 and that Bible.
Well, let me ask you this, Alvin. Is it that he told you the $100 was in here, or you start read the Bible and see the 100 in there?
Well, lucky enough, when I flip the set of first page, I see it, so I feel good.
Yes, Father Paul, that's nice.
So I probably never read all the way to reach all the way to the New Testament. You know, I need
you read up to the $100 and stop.
But in all fairness, gentlemen, he was a mentor to us and quite a few other gentlemen during that time, in terms of trying to stay on top of us to make sure we stay focused. And I have to give him that credit, and give all the teachers the credit. A little credit must also go to Mrs. Douglas, who is always there in terms of the educational part, because that's her thing and that's what she focuses on. So she's always going to push education. So you have to give her credit for that, because at the end of the day, it's a school, and it's a school for learning, while the coaches on the other side, and though they have to push their athletics. So in between there, you have to give the coaches and the teachers and everyone credit. But overall, I give all the staff that I have interacted with at KC credit, and I am really grateful for what they have done for me. And even at that time that I didn't know, but I know now, I have to give credit to the Old Boys Association providing us with those assistance and equipment and necessary educational resources that we were we were getting while we were at KC.
Yeah, man. True.
No, you see, Alvin.
Okay, go on, Pete.
Before, because man, I go transition into the after KC, and me want to drop something that relate to KC, because you talk about playing class match, and a man throw it down the line, and you know, Leo Brown saw you and saw, oh my gosh, there's potential with you playing football, potential on the track and field side. Hear this joke. We got Pearl. And at that time, Mr. Mannerts was the track and field coach, and Mr. Mannerts is a KC old boy. And when me come out of Pearl, me see Mr. Mannerts bust the corner, so I come round. Alvin, when me go over the wall, you could have swear say a long jump. The man come and say, Pete, you need to do long jump. Me say that unless you go have a Pearl situation, stadium. Because other than that, you don't get me go for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but there's
some
a lot
fight
of those
as well
stories.
still, you know, but yeah, I share that because he feels so if just even go over the wall, him say, boy, if I come do some track and field. But when you share that story, that came to mind when it comes to the invitation to track, but I just never took it up. So transition. Go ahead, big bro.
Yeah, but you could not do it in a Pete, because you already have a lead with it. So walk us through now. Tell us that part of the story now, because you don't finish KC. Is it that did you do any form of studying locally, or you went straight overseas?
Yeah, so when I finished sixth form in KC, and finished track and field, and I was sitting there down by the sixth form block, them call it. Reality hits. You realize, really and truly, what you going to do now? And I see that in a lot of the young men currently at the school. So for me, it was two options. It was going in the army, because I was already working part-time for the army, or get a scholarship, because at that time there wasn't much academic scholarships. So that's why I went full out in terms of track and field to try to get a track scholarship. I don't know if you don't know me. Used to run from Chisholm Avenue, go Central Village, from my grandmother's house to Central Village, Sunday daytime.
What?
Yeah, man. So I had to put you in the work, because scholarship was the way out. There was no other way for me. I know my parents couldn't afford it. I know I couldn't afford it. So I put up football to the side and went 100 in track and field. I was training with the soldiers even when I leave KC at the time.
Yeah, man.
Until the scholarship came through. I get a scholarship to Alabama State University.
Nice.
After I went to Penn Relay, of course. That's when we meet up with the coaches and various coaches. I got a couple of offers, but at the time the coach said, if them give you 95%, there's no way you can afford the other 5. So
you have to get a full scholarship.
The first 100% come, you just take it.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, no matter where you end up. So the first 100% that came in was from Alabama State University, and I took it. At the time, back in the days, me not go tell them I'm a superstar. I was just an average runner. But the average times that I was doing was good enough to get a scholarship overseas. Because I still don't have a medal from champs. I have 10 relay medals, of course, but that's the one that eludes me. So that's why I'm not a trophy like Uno.
No, but Alvin, you have to bear in mind, you know, it's your performance at Penn that set the step for move on. So don't watch that. Don't watch that, Alvin. The man them see win at least a medal over there. So you know that kind of led the way for the offers.
That's
as
where it
well.
mattered. That's right.
Man.
I want to tell you the medal I won at Penn was in high school. No, it was in college.
That is after you reach university.
After I reach,
okay.
That's why I say I have a Penn relay medal. So I got the scholarship to Alabama State at the 100%. And
to study what?
Well, at the time, my degree was in mathematics pre-engineer. So as a matter of fact, I wasn't the only Fortis who came to Alabama State. me and another Fortis brother, Andrew Archer.
Okay.
Both of us. It was supposed to be three of us. Dave Craig, but he ended up in Tennessee. And then we recruit two more Jamaicans from Stats and one from Georgia. So that's how I got here in terms of I got on a track scholarship. My at that time they call it A-level CXC. That wasn't bad. I did well because at CXC level I they used to give out prizes as best CXC results and all that stuff. So I was fortunate to get one of those.
So you got a trophy.
And I did A-levels and stuff. I did pretty well at the A-levels, but as I said at that time, if you weren't getting 5 A's in A-levels, no scholarship was available to go to Trinidad, which was my destination in terms of the engineering. So I went to Alabama State and I did mathematics pre-engineering. It was like a double major stuff, which is mathematics and mechanical engineering. But what I did is after I got the maths degree, I decided to just transition over to the masters and did a master's in mathematics, biostatistics at University of Alabama at Birmingham. So me and Archer from KC was there. We did pretty well. Of course, we came and represent and leave our name there because I think we still have a record still sitting there in the school. 4x8.
So you ran for all the time that you were there for the first
I ran
degree.
my 4 years in college.
Okay.
Yes, I ran my 4 years in college. Cross country, indoor, outdoor. 8-15 at the time was the major discipline.
So having done your studies in mathematics, comparatively, have you had any regrets and not doing because you never get to do the engineering and go Trinidad and them stuff there,
No regrets. Where the regrets finished was when, and I know a lot of the young men in schools will face this. When I was in college at that time, and I was doing maths, everyone was saying that's the way to go because all the programming companies are hiring mathematicians to do coding and all that stuff. So I was doing computer programming with the mathematics and the engineering. And funny enough, when you graduate and start looking for jobs, you realize I cannot find these jobs. Where are all these jobs that they said was going to be there for us? So at that time, yes, there was a whole bunch of regrets. So
from there. So
when the jobs weren't coming, I said, well, I can't.
This was after the first degree or after you done the masters?
This
was after the first degree or after the masters?
The first degree.
First degree.
Yeah. And even transitioning now to the masters when I did the biostatistics, I said I cannot sit around. Let me go back to university. So I went back to university, work the night shift at Walmart and go to school at day. Of course, you'll be sleeping in class because you're coming off the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
A lot of my notes was running across the page because I was sleeping in class.
Be a concentric circle.
Yeah.
You put it the next day and I wonder what is me start with a P and it end with like
yeah. A lot of that went on, gentlemen. So I finished the masters in biostatistics and again start the job hunt again. And of course, it took a while to get a job. Because I had to still, at that time, still working at my Walmart job, even with a master's, waiting for something to come through.
And how long did that take?
It took me about 6 months.
Okay.
6 months. So, but by the grace of God and everything, something came in the same city that I was living, which is at Blue Cross and Blue Shields of Alabama. And funny enough, when I went for that statistician job, they say they've been looking for one for 2 years.
Wow.
So I was fortunate and by the grace of God, so I started working at Blue Cross and Blue Shields since 2002 and I'm still there.
Nice. So before you go into the work aspect of things now, Alvin, because it's very important. I don't want you. I want you to just speak a little bit on this, especially for the young ones who are looking to study but also work overseas. Where were you living, and what was that like? Were you with family or were you alone? What was happening with you in terms of accommodation at that point in time?
All right, so that's a good question there, brother Marlon. When athletes or scholarship individuals get to the United States, their full scholarship covers accommodation, but not when school is out.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when school is out, we have to find somewhere to go. And at the time, we weren't allowed to get any kind of financial assistance to buy our plane ticket to go back home. Mm-hmm. So I had to end up staying with family members up in Baltimore.
What do you mean you're not supposed to get assistance? What do you mean? Like you can't ask for help for buy your ticket, or you can't ask them for help?
No. So in that time, the NCAA ruling was you couldn't give the athletes them any kind of financial assistance like that to cover those travelings.
Yeah. So their scholarship never included traveling back home, Pete. So basically,
no, it never,
if that's going to happen, it has to come at a personal expense.
Yes. Right. So for the bigger schools now, for the bigger schools, they would have boosters who could do stuff for their athletes and stuff. I was going to a smaller school, a HBCU. So there wasn't any they didn't have those type of boosters who can do these type of things for them. Yep. So I ended up having to stay with family when school is out. So what I did now, coming into my second year in college, both me and my Jamaican and Fortis brother Archer we asked the coach to cut our scholarship. So yeah, funny enough, you look at it that way. So what happens if you're on full scholarship, you cannot work. So what we asked the coach to do was to cut our scholarships, pay for the tuition, take the boarding, and give us the meal, and give us that in financial part.
Okay.
So we take the money for the meal, pay for our living expense, get a job, and cover the rest. So that's how we were able to get out the dorms and rent a place, a 3-bedroom, split the rent, so we can have some money. I was working at a service station. He was working for UPS. And that's how we do it. No, there comes with a challenge because now we're off campus. We have to find commute to get back to campus.
Yeah.
And train.
Well, I had to end up just buy a bicycle. So I have a bicycle and ride back to campus every day. So we can get to practice and classes. So we figure out a wiggle way out where we don't have to be moving every semester. We have a place to reside and a place to rest. And that's what we did to alleviate the accommodation in terms of while we were there.
Nice.
So we find a way to make it work.
Yes. At least the coach actually accepted the offer, so that's pretty good. That what you guys presented, that's cool. That's very good.
Yeah, and I have to give credit to the coach, to Coach Crump. Yeah, he's passed away too. But he was a really good man, and he works with us, and he understands our challenges. So he didn't have a problem for us doing that. He just makes sure he warned us that, hey, make sure to come and practice by time, because you know. And of course we did. So good. That was good for us to alleviate that accommodation part of while we were here.
Man, fantastic.
And thank you for that, Alvin. So talk to me now about Blue Cross now.
Blue Cross. Oh, the Blue Cross, I have been there, I said 2002. So I've been there 23 going 24 years now. I'm now their chief statistician.
What did you start out as?
A statistician. Statistician, senior chief. As a matter of fact, I'm really the only statistician in the company really right now.
Okay.
My duties really entail the fee scheduling. Make sure I am responsible for managing the budget for their fee schedule, meaning I prepare the fees for physician payment. We call it professional payment. So whatever we pay the physicians, I'm responsible to create those fees. Hospital fees, drugs fees, DME fees, dental fees. So for the Blue Cross plan here in Alabama, the department that I'm in and my responsible kind of entails that controlling a budget, about $5 billion budget in terms of what we do with those fees and those payments for the provider, the physicians, and those auxiliary services.
Wow.
So let me get
budget,
something.
man.
So to say that you're the only statistician, does that mean that over the years it has evolved now? So a lot of the work is now managed by software.
No, you're still not software. What happened is that it's hard to find a statistician. You can find a mathematician and stuff. So, but the position they had about 3 statisticians over the years, and as they move on, they hire just data analysts to fill those gaps for those positions. But the software is improving. But yes, you still need a person who can understand the software, understand what is going on. Because the software only provides something on the front end. And if something goes wrong, you're supposed to have an idea what's wrong.
Yeah.
How you can change it and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of artificial intelligence software and a lot of data manipulation and visual presentation softwares that have been used, and they're very good. But again, you have to use them with caution.
Excellent. And it's happy to see that, for someone to remain so long in one company is very rare nowadays. And it's good to see that, you stuck it out and rose through the ranks. So talk to us now. Tell me the story now about that link and connection that you made now with the Old Boys Association in Atlanta. How that came about.
Well, personally to me, I always think it's my duty to give back. Because as I said, it's when you leave, I don't know anybody, I'm going to give my experience. It's when I leave KC and was in college and those times, I realized what Kingston College has done for me, and not just KC, but the fraternity.
Yeah.
So as I alluded earlier before, was the items and resources we get while in school was provided by generous donors. So I live in Birmingham, Alabama. So I really drive over to Atlanta 3 hours for meetings and functions and all that stuff. So I was online looking for a chapter, the closest chapter to me. And I found out that there is one in Atlanta. So, of course, I reached out and they said they have a meeting XY date. So, jump in the vehicle and drive over. And from that day, which is from 2012,
Okay.
I think it's about 2010, 12, somewhere in that region. I've been driving over ever since to collaborate with the gentleman them over there in the chapter to see what we can do to.
And you still make that drive today? You still live in Alabama?
Yeah, man. I'm still right now. I'm in Alabama still, man. So I still drive over and conduct the necessary business.
Things that you have to do.
But as again with technology, some of the meetings now are on Zoom.
Virtual.
Yeah, so I don't have to really drive over as often as I used to before. So
we have in-person events and sessions and stuff. That's when you have to go over.
Yes, so that's how I really get in touch with the Atlanta group. I was looking for a chapter, and because you realize you can do stuff by yourself, but really, if you're trying to really move the needle, you really need to work in unity.
Yes.
And at the time, because I know a lot of the young men that leaves KC have a bitter taste of the Old Boys Association. We're just gonna put it out there, but really, gentlemen, it's they need to get involved. It's not as what get involved before you make the comment, because it's not what individuals say it is. Because ever since I joined the Atlanta chapter, I'm the youngest person. I joined the chapter when I was in my early 40s, and they have given me open arms, and they're looking for younger guys to step in.
Yeah.
As they step out, the gap have to be filled.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah.
They working with the chapter and the group, I see it's more beneficial. And of course, everybody opinion and everybody ideas are always welcome at the table. So we can look at it and see how best it can benefit the school or the cause of the school that we're involved in.
Excellent. And you have young members, young old boys as part of the membership now, right? Youngish.
Well, yeah, you're looking at the youngish right here.
You're still the young. You have to go. I know you're working on that, so I have to say no more. I know you're working on that.
Yeah, so here is the challenge, and to be frank with you, Brother Delano Franklin, who passed away again, I'm going to use his reference. A couple of years back, we were discussing the same topic as younger guys coming in, and he said this has been going on for years. Don't sit and worry about that. They will come when the time is right.
Yes.
A lot of them have responsibility and they don't have the time, and they haven't reached that age where they feel it's time now. They have the time and they have the excess funds where they can contribute to the school. But just keep them engaged and keep them informed, and eventually the time will come when they show.
True.
So that's how I start looking at it, gentlemen. I always engage them as I see them, because there's a younger group in Atlanta that has their function, and of course I attend their function and I show up there and give them our support and stuff. And some of them will also come to a function and give the support, but they will support in other causes. So once they're supporting, that's the key. It doesn't matter where the support is going. It's just once they're supporting, and then once we keep them engaged, then hopefully later on they will show up and be part of the organization.
So how long have you been president?
I'm going in my 8 years now,
Wow.
See all of the gray hair them.
Wow. Don't say a KCOBA do that to you. Yeah. Now see how the KCOBA do. Remember you say you want to encourage young men to come in, and that now we don't know about that something there. So I know it.
No, Pete. I'm showing these as far as wisdom.
Okay. I'll take the wisdom.
So what are the projects and the events that you have lined up for 2025 to support the 100?
Okay, so for our centenary coming up, which is a significant milestone of the school. I mean, much congratulations to all who have involved for us to reach this phase, and for Bishop Gibson to have this idea of forming the school back 100 years ago. Here in Atlanta, we always have two marquee events for the year. That's a fundraising event. And being that we're an overseas chapter, most of our support a majority of our support is in the financial aspect of it. So coming up in summer, June the 7th, we have what is called Summer in the Park. And that's just a gathering of friends and family in the park to enjoy a day in the park while we're raising funds, of course. Then our second major event is in December, which is the George Thompson Scholarship Fundraiser event. So the chapter started out 25 years ago with the old boys and gentlemen who started the organization. Their focus was on scholarship, and that time they want to attribute it to George Thompson. So currently we still have that scholarship running. That is our major commitment to the school since its inception. But for the centenary, of course, we have to start doing a few things to earn some extra funding for the projects outlined by the centenary committee. So we are having fundraiser and sending memorabilia. I'm not sure if you can see behind me right there. I got me a whiskey set.
Yes, I see it online. I want one of those.
Yeah, so
the whiskey I mean, I don't mean to disturb your setup, etc. Is it possible to bring it into your camera so we can see the whiskey set itself? Because we're promoting all these things that are out there for the centenary. You got the bands, you got the shirts, so many other things out there. But
why Alvin it look good, but Alvin
that pretty.
Alvin, it look good, but I have to commend you because when you get up a while ago, my heart skip a beat because someone will dress up in them jacket and in them underpants. So I'm glad you have a pair of pants.
No. No, man. See it, man. And it's also nice. Engraved on the back with the 100.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man.
That is your chapter.
Yeah.
Pushing
so it's high quality stuff. Top tier. So that's one of our fundraiser. We also have some other memorabilia coming out, and we're thinking about some other memorabilia. And another major projects that we have going on that will involve raising funds for the centenaries. The chapter have decided that going forward, we cannot just rely on donation from fraternities and brothers and old boys. So we have embarked on some real estate investment. So we have acquired 2 properties that we are currently renovating. And we are planning to use the funds. Some of the funds from that will go to the centenary, of course, but we are going to reinvest those funds back into investment of properties.
Yes.
And hopefully, once we get the engine up and running and moving a couple of these properties, then hopefully we can expand that out into a bigger. So those are some of our projects that we currently have running and fundraisers we have running for the centenary. And of course, although the centenary is around the corner, there's still a lot of projects and small projects in relatively to the auditorium that we really have to get involved in for the school. As we alluded earlier back to the maths program, that's the emergency stuff that's really needed for the young men in order for them to sit their exam coming up. And other stuff. So we still have to target those initiatives as they come, while we still looking down the road for the long-term projects that the Centenary Committee has distributed to the group for the aim for that $1 billion aim.
That's good.
Nice.
No, Alvin, you see, I just shared the page just now in regards to your in Georgia there. And I want to, because we talk about the centenary, we talk about raising funds. Where can somebody get that whiskey engraved 100 set?
All right. So the site you're on right now hasn't been updated. So what our site is the KC Times. That's where we push, because we manage the
Okay.
KC Times.
Yeah.
So once you get on the KC Times, you will see most of Georgia stuff out there on the KC Times. So there you go. So we update that site, so you will see our initiatives and any other initiatives that we receive. We'll also post them out there. So for Georgia chapter, KC Times is the main page to tap into to get information about the chapter and what's going on in the chapter.
We'll definitely provide details around where we can get that whiskey kit, because I can tell you, this soldier guy beside me has taught me how to drink. So I want to make sure I get a nice little kit like that, because when time I go to the south, I always have them little fancy stuff. And since we have 100-year centenary, I want to get one of those for the record. We're keeping that one. Yes.
The man after upgrade his palate, Alvin. The man drink too much little Bacca bar taste bad rum, and so I have to raise him standard slightly. But thank you, Alvin. Thank you very much. I appreciate a lot. You've learned a lot about you and the work that through you and the chapter that you're doing, the contribution to the boys back home. So in true fashion again, Alvin, we're asking you to do two things. One, wish KC happy 100, and two, leave a positive message for the boys. You've already given the details of the chapter. If you want to give any additional in terms of if you have a Facebook or Instagram page, you can do that as well. But start us off with the anniversary birthday wishes, please.
Well, I have to say congratulations to Kingston College for their 100th year in existence. It's a very historical milestone. And we are looking for the next 100 years for better to come. Paying forward and investing in these young men and the school is very important. So again, happy 100th anniversary to KC. Fortis here, Fortis today, Fortis tomorrow, Fortis forever.
Amen. Amen. And a message to the boys. Give you a message to the boys and current staff and everybody.
Yeah, I would be feeling my duty if I didn't say Arctic, congratulations and great job to Mr. Myrie and the staff at the school.
Amen.
For what they are doing.
Yes.
We really appreciate what you all are doing at the school, and for that we are truly grateful. I mean, thanks again. Keep up the good work, Mr. Myrie and staff and everyone there, both from sports and auxiliary and everyone. Thank you all very much. Yes, in terms of the young men at school, my message to them will really, is to make good choices. The choices you make today will impact you and your future. So make good choices and stay in your lane, stay focused, stay in your lane. Don't worry about what's going on in other people's life. Don't be looking at peeping across the fence. Stay focused, stay on what you're trying to do and what you want to achieve. Don't compare your life with somebody else's life. You only have control over yours, not over others. So, stay focused. Show gratitude, to individuals who have played an integral role in your life. Starting out with your parents, you have to be grateful. And really, most important, you're in a youthful age, you have to enjoy it, enjoy life, make a lot of friends, because really and truly, one of those you'll never get back. You'll never get back your youthful years, so enjoy them. And the other one can be potentially beneficial to you in the future and opening up doors that you will never really expect to happen. So, I mean, those are some of the few things I would like to leave with the young men. Stay focused.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, Alvin. Respect.
Wow. Man, there you've had it. The only person so far that we have talked to that for the last 45 years have had a family member still attending Kingston College. He chose the school because of his entire family and what was going on in his actual community as a little boy. And today, 8 years later, still rises and sits and leads the KCOBA in Atlanta, Georgia, although he resides in Alabama. When we talk about commitment, when we talk about faith, when we talk about dedication, this is the man, Mr. Alvin Binns, our KC brother. Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you for everything you do. Man, I appreciate you. But we end every session with the greatest motto that comes out of the greatest institution. And we only ask that every KC boy who has gone through the gates say it with us. Staff members and everybody else will give a pass. We ask them to join. But Mr. Alvin, you cannot stay quiet on this one. And you know it well. It starts like this. Fortis, Cadere, CEDRE,
Potest. The brave may fall,
but never
yield.
Thank you. And you said it, and I'm glad you said it. So I think we're getting it from this group of, I would say, alumni leaders, because we get it from Stewie, which is Fortis then, Fortis now, and Fortis forever. That way I push as we move on from 100 on. Sir, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you sometime throughout this centenary celebration. Big up yourself. Stay safe. And again, thank you for your great work. And boy, I wish would take a sip out of a whiskey glass.
Hey.